Happy Friday. Happy Friday, y'all. Happy Friday, y'all. It's Justin coming back at you for another live stream. If you don't know me, my name is Justin Moore. I am the founder of Creator Wizard, and I help you find and negotiate your dream sponsorship so that you stop leaving thousands on the table. Today, I am very excited because we're talking about something that's near and dear to my heart, which is why goal setting matters for creators. And I have a very special guest who I would love to pull in, Dee Brissett from D and Fam, an amazing creator, an alumni of my Brand Deal Wizard program, and we are going to be talking all about this stuff. So let's pull in Dee. Thanks for joining us, Dee.
Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be here.
So give us the rundown on your creator business, the type of content you make. Give us the elevator pitch.
All right, so here's my elevator pitch. I'm a pro at this because I took Brand Deal Wizard. My name is Dee. I'm a creator in Canada, and I help busy families find products they're gonna love. I'm a Costco pro, so everything you need to know about Costco Canada, I'm your girl. I actually rank #1 on Google search for Costco Canada videos, and I own the whole first page and some. So that is what I do. That is my elevator pitch. Took me a while to get there, but you can get there all by taking the course.
So tell me a little bit more about that in particular, because talking about strategies, like you have said that, like, I want to rank #1 on Google for like certain search terms related to Costco Canada, and you put in place a a long-term strategy to actually make that happen. And I would love to, speaking on the topic of goal setting, like, walk us through your thought process there. Why was that a goal of yours? Why did, what steps and sub goals did you put in place to actually make that happen? Because I think it's actually absolutely brilliant what you've accomplished, and love to hear you kind of talk through that your mentality there.
Yeah, so I've actually been a creator for a long time, but I was sort of just swimming without any direction. And I really wanted to just find something that I was passionate about and a way to just make it my thing and not like everyone else's thing. So that's when I start researching like Costco videos. I love shopping at Costco. I'm a mom, I have kids. And that's where I like to go to do all my shopping. And I realized there was so much content available in the US, but there was like very little available in Canada. So that was a problem for me because I'm searching for something and the internet can't provide, a solution for what I'm searching for. So I figured, what if I became the solution for that? Like, how can I create a plan to make it possible for people to find Costco Canada content? And like, what's my angle gonna be? And then that's when I sat down and I realized, okay, this is like a big project that I'm trying to tackle on here. I can't just do it on a whim. I actually have to sit down, do a little bit of research, find my problem, think of solutions, get a strategy in place, and stick to it like nobody's business. And that's what I did. And after just a few short months, I feel like I accomplished my goal, but it never really sunk in until like 6 months, 9 months. And then when a year later, I realized, okay, like, this is not going anywhere. It's time to start announcing this to everyone else, like the support that I got, because people have seen my effort. Like, they have seen that I really did take something and make it into this bigger thing. It just became like the full picture. And that is the importance of setting goals, because you're going to reach so many, but you don't know which ones you're reaching if you didn't set them out in the first place. Like, how will you ever know? And so that's essentially like what I did.
That's huge. And I think that, like, a lot of people feel as though, I feel like they're almost like they move the goalposts, right? So it's like, oh, one day when I get to like 5,000 subscribers or 5,000 followers, or 2,000 average views per video, or whatever it is, I'm going to be happy, right? Like, that's going to be everything I ever want. And then guess what happens? You get there and you're like, well, it actually would be cool if I got to 10,000. Right. It's like, I've seen this so many times that creators, it's just like they punish themselves and they can never be happy because they're always moving the goalposts. And so it's like talking about these types of, like, the advantage of having these kind of sub goals along your journey, really help you take a pause and be like, wow, you know what? Like, I have accomplished a lot. Like, this is a tremendous accomplishment. And I just don't think creators do that enough. And so I love that you're doing this. Real quickly, I wanted to just say, let us know where you're tuning in from the chat. Sandra, thanks for tuning in. Let us know where you're tuning in from. We are live on Facebook. We are live on, or actually YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, LinkedIn. We're live on Dee's YouTube channel, y'all. If you're just tuning in and you don't know who the heck I am, we are cross streaming across multiple multiple different YouTube channels. So this is a ton of fun. And speaking about that, the first thing I wanted to kind of actually dive in to is talking about audience growth, right? Because I think that so many people are kind of fixated on that, on, getting more followers, getting more subscribers, getting, increasing their engagement rate, potentially at the expense of making money, right? Or thinking about themselves as a business, making revenue from this thing. So how do you think about audience growth with respect to sponsorships and how that should play into your business?
Man, audience, first of all, engagement is super important, number one. And then number two, when it comes to audience growth, you really have to just look at the simple stuff. For me, that really just boils down to how many meaningful relationships have I built, or how many meaningful relationships have I made in a certain amount of time. For me, that number does not have to be 1,000 or 10,000. If I were to have like two really good, meaningful relationships, that's sort of the backbone that I want on my foundation of my brand and my business. And that is really what I measure things with, is like, if this is a meaningful relationship, I can do so much with it. If this is just a numbers game, I have a whole bunch of numbers, but nothing to do with it. And from my experience, building those relationships only helps to get all the other things that you need to do anyway. So this is not something I recommend skipping over. I think that building those relationships and making sure that they're meaningful, making sure that you understand your audience, what they want, what they like, what they don't like, because they will tell you what that is. You have to take in all that information. Every interaction is research, and you should treat it as such. Essentially, I'm a big research snob, or I don't know, I just like doing research and finding out all the things that I can. And I feel that just taking those extra steps really does help make the transition to going full time, to being proud
Mm.
of what you do, to being able to walk into a meeting and feel like I own that meeting. All those things help you show up with all that confidence. So, like, all those little things, don't skip over them. They count, and they mean so, so much.
Yeah, and we got a question from Zach Kennedy as well about this particular thing, because so his question was, how many activations should I do per month so I don't overwhelm my audience? Because I think that this is a mindset that a lot of people have, is that when you're starting out and you're kind of focused on audience growth, you're just like, well, I don't want to monetize too early. I don't maybe want to do too many sponsorships, too many affiliate deals, like just generally like monetize this thing, because I don't want to ruin my trajectory. Like, things are going so well, I don't want to like ruin it, right? So what is your thought process on that? And whether you should be concerned about just like saturating your feed with too much monetization efforts.
My thoughts on that are super simple. I feel like it's all mindset, right? Like, if you're thinking, oh, is my audience going to be supportive that I'm like working with a brand that I like and I'm getting paid to do this? Like, I feel like your mindset should be, my audience is going to be so excited to support me, because they're going to say, like, one of their first comments is going to be like, oh, you deserve this. I'm so happy for you. Like, that is the mindset you need to go into with every partnership and sponsorship, because if it's not that mindset at all, it's probably not even the right one for you. So in terms of like how many, it really just depends on how supportive your audience is, what your calendar is actually like, how much content you're putting out. I mean, there's like so many things, but like the real thing that I think is super critical to consider is just how supportive is your audience. Like, does your audience love you enough in the content that you put out, that if you posted 2 videos a week and both of them were sponsored, they'd be like, yes, I'm going to go get that. Or yes, I love that brand. Yes, I love seeing you work with that brand. Like, these are the things that you need to think about. And this is the mindset shift that you need to have in order to not obsess over, is two too much or is five too much. Like, it really just depends on knowing your audience and what they'll tolerate, and like if they're
Mm.
going to be supportive, which again goes back to the whole point of doing that research and knowing that each interaction is research, right? and
Mhm.
and doing what you think is going to be best for your brand and your audience, because that's for you. That's the onus is on you with that stuff. Like, no one else is going to help you with it unless you help yourself.
Well, and what you just said, I think, is really critical about kind of involving in your audience in this, setting the expectation that working with brands is the way in which I continue to bring you amazing free content, right? And so, like, you supporting me support it, when I get partnerships is the way in which you are helping support me, right? So I think that was absolutely critical. I want to give a quick shout out to Anna Zelaya tuning in from Florida. We got Chantel from Team Brooks. Chantel and Troy, they just joined Brand Deal Wizard cohort number 6. So stoked to have you in there. We got No Pets from Jersey. Marwan saying thank you for this. We got Drea's Curious Cuisine. Happy Friday all the way from England. Great. Thank you so much for all of you for tuning in. We are talking all about why goal setting matters for creators. And today we just talked about audience growth and how that relates to, your own creator business and monetization efforts and things like that. I did want to just make a quick pause to mention that cohort number 6 of Brand Deal Wizard is now open for enrollment. It ends on Monday, y'all. So just a few days away from today. We've already got amazing creators inside. We've got who do we have? We have DIY, we have lifestyle, we have fashion, we have beauty, we have food, we have what else we got? We've got, there's some others. Like across, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, we've
Podcasters.
got podcasters, a crazy diverse cohort. It's going to be amazing. You're going to be able to learn from all sorts of other types of content verticals and niches. It's going to be a blast. And with that, actually, let me pull up onto the screen. If you want to find out more information about Brand Deal Wizard, just go to branddealwizard.com. It's going to be so much fun. Again, this is the 6th cohort. So we are making crazy improvements to this thing every time. D, as you know, hosts all the office hours for Brand Deal Wizard. So it's going to be a blast. D, let's move on and talk about real quickly about negotiating more money for each sponsorship. Because one thing I hear from a lot of creators is just how they seem stuck, always getting those kind of low paying deals, the onesie, twosie, the $100, $200, $500 deals. It's all meaningful, right? It's all money. It's paying, your insurance, or it's paying your grocery bill, or it's, so like in the beginning, that's very meaningful. When April and I were starting out doing on sponsorships, like that's how we thought of it. It was like, oh man, this is like covering, our rent, or eventually it came to covering our mortgage or whatever, right? So like how did you get out of that mindset of like, help kind of understanding like how you can articulate to brands your worth and just have them pay you more?
I think the best thing to go into negotiation with is knowledge. You can't show up to a meeting with very little information on any of the things that you need to be an expert at. So I feel like the number one thing, first off, is knowledge. Having that knowledge is like vital in regards to being able to know how to talk to brands, right? Like knowing what to say, what not to say. I feel that it's just one of those things where you kind of just have to be fully committed to it all. And you have to understand that lowball offers are just a part of the process. It's not personal. Okay. So don't take it personal. Brands are going to try to get the best deals. If you go somewhere, you're probably going to try to get the best deal as well. So everyone is just trying to get the best deal, but your job as a creator is showing and letting the brand know how they're going to get the best value in partnering with you, and why partnering with you, it just makes sense for their brand. If you're failing to do those things, it's probably a reason why you're failing to get the partnerships that you want. But if you keep getting lowball offers, who cares? Okay, just keep pitching. There's way too many brands to get hung up on $100 offer. Like, it's not that big of a deal. You're going to be fine. Know what to say, counter when they say that, and keep pitching. Just keep pitching. Always.
Man, I love that motivation. And the thing you said is so true, which is just like, if you think about your own behavior, like when like everyone's trying to get a deal out here, right? So it's like you cannot take it personally. There is this kind of mindset that a lot of people have on social media that brands are trying to, like, every brand is malicious, they're nefarious, they're trying to like screw creators, and it's just like my experience has not been that. It's like, yeah, they're out there, they're trying to get a deal just like any other person, and the onus is on you to actually help them understand why they should pay you more, right? Because they're going to come out with whatever, kind of offer they're going to give you to actually, see if you'll accept that. Because yes, there is a lot of other creators out there who just be like, okay, they're not going to negotiate. They sign on the dotted line and they don't negotiate at all. And actually, we had a good question from Mark Studell as well. And he was wondering, like, how do you actually calculate the value of your proposal, right? So let's say that there's like different things that they're going to be offering you, like licensing, or maybe if you're going to add in, photography as well as videography, so videos and still photos, and like, does it matter like the size of your channel with respect to your proposal? Is like if you have a certain number of followers, or you have 10 times that amount of followers. So like, how do you how do you think about thinking about all the different deal points and how those should factor into your pricing, D?
I'm going to say something that's probably super controversial, and it's coming from a good place because I don't have millions of followers or subscribers, but I never go into a meeting as if I'm wearing anything other than red bottom shoes, okay? Because I have the knowledge that can get me in that conversation. And on top of that, I know what I'm talking about. I'm an expert in my field. So if you're ever concerned about, if brands are going to feel a certain way, or if you don't know what to charge, your worth is your worth. Justin and I can never tell you the exact dollar amount to put on that. Am I frozen?
You're not. I see you. You're good. You're looking great.
Okay, so yeah, we will not tell you like the exact dollar amount to put on your worth. However, what is your time worth? If you are going to be taking 3 hours to do photography for a campaign, and you're going to write a blog post, and you're going to do whatever other set of deliverables that you're agreeing to do, make sure that you are charging accordingly, because your time should value something, and that amount is really based on you. I feel that every time you throw out a number, you should expect the brand to negotiate that number. And I feel that you should return that favor. And when a brand throws out a number at you, you also negotiate back and let them know, yeah, $50 sounds great. Actually, I had something else in mind. And this would look like blank investment. So knowing how to say these things and have it roll off the tongue without any, struggle, and it seems like something that you're just naturally good at talking about, is really the key here in regards to having those conversations, because everything is negotiable, but like, are you going to mention those things? Because if you don't, I don't think that they will, right? So you have
Mm,
to take it upon yourself to take charge of these things and understand that you're in control just as much as the other person in this negotiation process, right? So just talk it through. The more conversations, the better. Make sure everything is clear, obviously. And then once you know everything that you need to know, from there, you can then estimate what that investment would look like, or why this makes sense, or, a different way to show them the value of whatever you're saying versus that dollar amount, right? Because at that point, it's
yeah.
not just the number. It's like, okay, how does this actually work though? Like, if
Mm.
I give you $1,000, where's it going to go? Like, what am I going to see in return? And it's up to you to kind of show that, right?
Mm. And interesting. Marwan in the chat said time is money. And interestingly, one thing that we cover pretty extensively in week 2 of Brand Deal Wizard is all about the different pricing mechanisms or the type pricing styles that I have seen creators do. So, for example, this kind of cost plus based approach, where a lot of creators do this, is they will say, okay, well, I just want to get paid a certain dollar amount per hour. Or let me like calculate how many hours I'm actually spending doing the photography, or, the material fee to actually make the content and stuff like that. And then I'm just going to add 25% on top of that. Right. And I talk a lot about why that is not a great approach to actually capture all the value, and actually understand, perhaps the brand might have been willing to pay you a lot more money. And if the only way that you're using to value your own expertise is just like adding a little bit of a percentage based on your actual material or labor fees, right? You're going to be leaving a lot of money on the table, right? And so, understanding, like you said, having it be having the confidence and doing the research to understand what the brand is trying to accomplish, is a game changer when it comes to actually getting paid what you're worth. So, really, really love that. The other thing I wanted to talk about is diversification, right? Because I think that this is a major point for a lot of creators, especially as we're moving into the next 12 to 18 months with some uncertainty from an economic standpoint. The global markets are in disarray right now, and everyone's just kind of wondering like what's actually going to happen. And so like diversification, I think, is on the minds of a lot of creators. And so honestly, I'm glad that more and more creators are thinking about this stuff, because not glad in the face of like the uncertainty with the economy, but just generally, like, I know that we talk about sponsorships a lot, but like one of the biggest like aces that you can have up your sleeve is being diversified across a lot of different revenue streams. So let's say, for example, that you have a very robust affiliate revenue stream, like with Amazon Associates or other affiliates or something like that. If you're able to, have that in your back pocket, it's going to be a lot easier to walk away from deals that are crappy, right? Because, you don't feel beholden, or you don't feel like it's necessary to actually take these terrible deals. And actually, Zach had another question, which is like, okay, well, like if you're a creator, like what percentage of monthly income do you think should come from these different buckets? So, some from brand sponsorships, and some from merch, and some from affiliate deals, or, like what are your thoughts on that deal of like, how do you think from your own creator business, like how should you be thinking about how much time you should be allocating to each of these different revenue buckets?
Yeah, I think it's super important to diversify your income. Number one, we all know what's going on with social media right now. I feel like the platforms are just competing with each other. If you put all your eggs in one basket and one of those platforms fail, then what? These are the things that you kind of like have to think about as a creator, as a business person, as someone who's building your brand, trying to grow your audience. You have to understand that, yeah, I have some audience here on YouTube, but I could probably reach people who are interested in this on TikTok as well, right? And then that's a way for you to add additional people to support whatever your craft is. So, I mean, there's so many good benefits to diversifying your income, and there's so many good benefits for building out your package for diversifying your income. So, for example, if you want to work with, I don't know, a brand, like a really big brand, your dream brand, and you go to them and you say like, hey, I'd love to, post like a reel on your behalf, whatever you end up saying, and they say yes, right? Like, great, you got this deal with your dream brand, but what if you also mention that you're available on TikTok, you're also on Facebook, you also have a website, or you do streaming, or you're good with lives? Is this something that the brand wants to explore? Those are opportunities that were available to you, but you never brought them up. So, diversifying your income is super important, because when you have those conversations, it's an extra opportunity for you to earn more, because you're in more places, you're doing more things, and there's more people to reach on different places. Like, I'm sure a lot of you probably go on Facebook to talk to like your family or something, right? But like maybe you wouldn't find, a lot of followers or subscribers there, right? Or maybe the brand that you like is available everywhere else except TikTok. And it's like, oh, well, I can help you get there, right? You'd have to be able to know that you're an expert in all these places so that you can diversify your income. And then in return, you're just going to build out your packages and earn more anyway. And that is like the smart way to just stay consistent and make sure you have those options available. I do it all the time.
Hmm. Yeah, and I think that the other the other thing is that there is, because all of these platforms are competing with each other, there are more and more opportunities to monetize in other ways. Like I've actually heard of, for example, like some creators making an absolute killing on Facebook right now, and all they're doing is repurposing their YouTube content. They're literally just re-uploading their YouTube content onto Facebook, because Facebook is allowing you to monetize long form video on there now. Yeah, there's like certain thresholds of like followers and stuff on your Facebook page, but like that's literally all they're doing is like they're syndicating their content over there, and they're making. I know some creators who are making hundreds of thousands of dollars every single month doing this. So it's still like, yeah, you have to be at a certain scale, but like that's just an example of like, Reels has, bonuses now, and like, TikTok has a creator fund. It's not always the greatest amount of money. I actually have a question for you about this particular thing when it comes to diversifying your presence across platforms. Like, how do you not get burnt out though? Because there's so many different like platforms you can be on. It's like a hamster wheel. Like, oh, I gotta like be posting 3 times a day on like every platform. And like, oh, Pinterest has idea pins now that you can monetize and do affiliate links on and stuff. So like what are your how do you think about this for your own creative businesses? Like, where should you be spending your time? Because you only have 24 hours in the day, right?
Yeah, I feel like understanding where to spend your time is going to boil back on how well do you know these platforms that you need to create content to be on, right? So for me, I am all over. Like, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I'm on YouTube, I have my website, I have pretty much all the things, okay? And the way that I don't get burned out is I try to find that one special thing for each platform. So, for example, on TikTok and Instagram combined, I have a new series called Costco versus D, where I pretty much highlight how fun and funny it is to go into the store for one thing, because we all know it's almost impossible to walk out with just the one thing. And that is something that I don't have time in my schedule to make in long form video on YouTube, but it's fun, it's exciting, it's educational, it's real and raw. And that is going to perform really well on like Instagram, on TikTok. So knowing which strategies work on what platform and understanding like what unique thing you have to bring to the table totally makes it easier to keep producing content without having to get burned out, because you have that one special thing that you're looking forward to doing on that platform. And you know, as a creator, I get super attached to like everything I do, and then I fall in love with these ideas and I just run with it until I feel like, okay, now let's move on to like the next thing. And so what you really have to just make sure that you're doing is don't post the same thing on all of them, you know, because if you have one follower who follows you on all the things, they're not going to engage on all the same things.
Mhm.
Right? So it's only
Yeah.
going to hurt you in the long run. Like, how many times can they say like great post, you know, on the exact same thing? So you have to think
Right.
like that. Think about the algorithm. Think
Mhm.
about the people you're trying to reach. Think about what you want to be known for. Think about having fun being a creator, because the best content you're going to create is the content when you're having fun, because everyone can see it. And
Yeah.
that's how you prevent yourself from getting burnt out. Have fun doing what you're doing. Make sure it's authentic to yourself, and make sure that you have a little bit of something different for all of them. That way, the whole picture becomes a big thing, as opposed to I'm doing this one thing and like I don't have time to do this other thing. It's like, okay, guys, take a step back, take a deep breath, take 5 minutes to plan out an idea, set like one realistic goal and a long term goal, and then start building out from there, because it all boils back to, do you have a plan? You know, because if you don't have one, I don't know how you're going to do all these platforms.
Well, case in point, I went from a cadence of one video a week, one video on every Wednesday on my YouTube channel to I haven't posted actually in a little while on my YouTube channel because I've been doubling down on TikTok. And the reason is because I have noticed that TikTok has become the water cooler for creators to talk about being a creator. Like, long form video content still has its place in my business and I'm still going to make it, but I decided that being on TikTok and talking about it in a much more informal setting has really taken my business to the next level. In fact, a lot of the people who have joined this cohort of Brand Deal Wizard actually found me on TikTok, like more than half of them, right? And so, you have to be able to make course corrections as a creator and realize, like, hey, like, I know that this doing YouTube content, for example, got me to where I am today, but like that you may need to reevaluate every quarter or every couple months to be like, okay, is this thing that I've been doing still working? Maybe I need to make a little bit, some changes there. And so, like, I have, am a living proof of, like, you have to be. I've been doing this over a decade, and like, here I am doing TikTok. Like, I never thought I'd be doing it, but here I am, right? So anyways, by the way, real quickly, look at this freaking scrolling banner. I just realized you could do that. And I did it in real time. I was like, let me check this thing out. I didn't even know you could do that. So we have a scrolling banner now. And for those of you guys who are just tuning in, we're talking all about goal setting and why that matters for creators, as well as talking a little bit about Brand Deal Wizard, which is my 4-week cohort-based course that is absolutely a blast. This is going to be the 6th cohort, and enrollment actually ends, as you can see here with this scrolling banner, enrollment ends on Monday, and the first class is on Tuesday. So we are so excited. D here, we're cross streaming on a bunch of different platforms, including D's YouTube channel. And yeah, if you are interested in learning how to find and negotiate your dream sponsorship so that you stop leaving thousands on the table, come join. It's going to be a blast. And with that, I did want to talk about, before we dive into a Q&A. So if you have any questions, let us know in the chat that you'd like us to answer. But I did want to talk a little bit about how to convert gifted offers into paid partnerships, right? Because when you're at kind of the outset of your creator journey, it can be difficult. Like, how do you actually get over that hump? Like, oh, like, I really, yes, free products are great. It's awesome. But like, I want to get paid, right? And so talk to us a little bit about like how you approach brands who say they don't have a budget? Because we actually did get a question from Zach as well about this, which is just a lot of it comes down to like imposter syndrome. Like, well, like what if I actually ask them for money and then like I don't drive the results that I say I'm promising I can, right? Like what happens if no one buys or clicks on the link or redeems the coupon code or whatever? Like how did you get through that imposter syndrome in your head early on, D?
I feel like that part of the imposter syndrome never really bothered me too much. When it comes to creating content and all the things that come along with it, you really have to have the right mentality and the mindset to get the things done that you want to get done, and also know that there are going to be opportunities where a brand does have budget but they've spent it already, and you just happen to reach out to them at a period in their calendar where they don't have any more budget to spend. So at that point, I think it's super important to start building that relationship with that brand, because at some point they're going to have a budget again, and that'll be a great opportunity for you to convert that gifted opportunity into one that pays. I'm a big fan of gifted to paid because I feel like there's just so many more opportunities available once you understand what brands truly want. So, I mean, if there's a brand reaching out to you trying to send you like $50 worth of free socks, I would encourage you to at least ask them, like, what would success look like for you? Like, if you gave me these free socks, like something as simple as that. Because if their goal is like, we just want to see how they look on people as they're wearing it, you can easily just slide in and let them know, like, by the way, I'm a photographer and I create content on my free time. I'm not very serious about this right now, but my content is, excellent. Let me show you an example. This is what I can create for you. Are you interested? And, buying like 10 pictures or 20 pictures, or like, let's partner together where you can keep sending me $50 worth of socks and I can keep giving you like pictures, right? Because it's going to help me grow. You're going to get what you want. I'm going to get what I want. Everyone's winning, but you have to understand, like, what is their true goal in giving you these gifted items? Because I
Mm,
don't think it was intentional to just say, like, hey, let me just give you free socks, right? Like, there had to have
right.
been something deeper there, and it's up to you to figure out what that is, so that when you do ask them, and even if they don't have a budget, you should be able to stand your ground, and let them know that I would love to do this, but unfortunately, XYZ, or whatever you're going to say.
Mm,
I feel like it's super important for you to understand that it's still a conversation. It's all a
yeah.
conversation, and it's up to you to get out of your own head, because you can't think for them. So why not just ask questions, get
Mm.
answers, listen, and take action from there? Find solutions to everything that they say. It's your opportunity to learn and create something amazing from those issues or solutions. It's super simple.
Yeah, and we've got Michael tuning in from South Florida in the chat as well, and Michael actually joined our Brand Deal Wizard cohort number 6 as well. And I know Michael has he's Tech 24/7, and I've actually heard this from tech creators a lot, which is like there are maybe you're making some you're doing some paid sponsorships, but like their particular space is like inundated with brands just offering products for review because it's like it's like a very pervasive thing. It's just like that's kind of the expectation. Like there's lots of people who are willing to accept free product in that particular content vertical because, tech products are expensive, right? And so like you can, you don't want to go bankrupt like buying the latest tech every time so you can review it to be on the cutting edge for your content. Like I've heard this, like I get it. Like it is a very pervasive challenge for certain content verticals. And so, one of the pieces of advice that I always give around this particular piece is that it's like you said, D, it's like understanding how you can actually talk to brands to understand how, like, what do they have budgets that they can allocate to, right? Because every brand, they allocate money for their marketing budgets, right? But it's like, if you're trying to convince them, like, well, no, you need to pay me for this, they're going to turn around and be like, okay, well, these 50 other tech creators or these 50 other creators are saying, like they're going to do it for free. So like, why would we pay you? And so because the onus is on you to actually, uh, you know, provide a compelling proposal to them of why they should pay you, right? And so like this is really the fundamentals of what we talk about in the course is like how do you craft a compelling pitch, a compelling proposal that will help them understand, oh, I get it. I get why I have to pay D or I have to pay Michael or I have to pay Justin money for this thing that he's proposing, because it's very different than what these other creators are every other creator is like saying that they'll do for me. Oh, I'm going to do an unboxing, I'm going to do an integrated YouTube video or whatever, right? So yeah, I absolutely love all of that, Deep. I did want to also mention this idea around, this goal around quitting your 9 to 5 job, because I think that this is something that is present of mind for a lot of people right now. Yes, it's, not having that cushy 9 to 5 job with the medical benefits. I get it. I was there. I get, it's very attractive. It's nice to have that. But even now, like, that's it's, everyone's kind of wondering like what's going to happen to my job potentially over the next 18 months or so. There's a lot of economic uncertainty, and like quitting the 9 to 5 job to be able to pursue content creation and this thing that you really love is a really attractive option, right? So I'm kind of curious how you think about this in terms of, like, so not only is the jump, I think, to actually going full-time scary, but then you have to figure out, okay, well, how long can I make this like sustainable? How long can I actually do this before I have to actually like go back to a real job? Is this something that I can actually do for the long term? So like, how do you think about creating income stability for yourself as a creator?
I think a great way to just create income stability is to start understanding how amazing brand sponsorships can be. Number one, you're going to get the opportunity to work with brands that you actually like. I'm hoping that those are the brands that you're choosing to work with. Number two, it's going to give you that cushion so that you can focus on the things that you really want to do. So if you are a creator and you're thinking of quitting your 9 to 5 job, but the thought of not having that income security is now stopping you from doing the thing that you like, which is creating content. It is okay to do sponsorships that make sense and align with your brand and your values and everything that you have to offer, if those things are going to help you to do the things that you want to do. And that's kind of the mentality that I have. I feel that if you can just accept the things in your, allow room in your life for the good to come in. If you want to do sponsorships, be great. So those sponsorships can come to you, right? Like if you want to quit your 9 to 5 job, make a plan, set some goals so that you can quit your 9 to 5 job and be consistent along the way. So I feel that a lot of it just has to do with, again, going back to setting a plan, getting your goals in order, coming up with a strategy, and doing things that make sense, and understanding that when you do these things, they help you to do the other things that you really enjoy doing. So diversifying your income, stabilizing your income, diversifying just all the places that you are super important, because all those things really will play a huge role in just helping you do everything that you want to do, because they allow you to have those opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to pull up something real quickly. I'm going to share my screen because I think, let me figure out how to do this, because it's okay, here we go. Here we go. Are you ready for this, D?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Um so let me pull off, let me turn off the thing so it's the little scrolling thing. Okay, so this is my sponsorship wheel framework. Oh no, it disappeared. What happened? Let me see here. How do I pull that back up? Where did my, I said hide to the thing and then it went away. Oh, here we go. Technical glitch. Here we go. Okay, so this is my sponsorship wheel framework, and what the reason I'm bringing this up is I want to talk about this because we're going to talk about this in detail in the Brand Deal Wizard course, and the understanding of like having this flywheel when it comes to working with brands is absolutely critical. So most people think that like, working with brands, figuring out who to target and like how can I actually get more deals is the only problem that they're having. When in reality, that is just step one, is like, how do I pitch the brands that I want to find or like reach out and things like that? But it's actually understanding how many brands and how many leads that you're interacting with at each of these stages that will help you identify and understand how you can have sustainable income working with brands. Because this is a concept, if you're like familiar with like a traditional kind of sales environment, this is what's called the sales pipeline. And my framework is what I call your sponsorship wheel. Is like, you have to identify, okay, like where are the holdups? Like if I have a brand that is stuck in like the contracting phase, or if I have a brand that's stuck in the pitching phase, or if I have a brand that's stuck in the feedback phase, like what is it going to actually take to propel them through the wheel so that I can start pitching them again on the next opportunity, right? And so that this is what oftentimes happens is that creators get, a couple deals and they feel like they're sitting pretty, and then they invoice the deals, and then they're sitting there and they're thinking like, oh, I was so fixated and so concentrated on this deal that I was working on that I was not pitching any brands, right? And so you're sitting here thinking you have no opportunities. Your pipeline is dry for the next 3 months or whatever, right? And you absolutely cannot get into that situation. And so this is what we're going to be talking about in throughout my brand deal wizard course. And so if this is something that is interesting to you, is exciting to you about creating, again, sustainable, scalable income working with brands, then you're definitely going to want to check out our brand deal wizard program. It's going to be a blast. Enrollment ends on Monday, June 20th. I did want to answer a couple questions in the chat here because Chantel actually had a really good question, Dee, and I want to talk about this, which is that where can we learn more about the purpose of each social platform or why people are on their platform? I think this is related to what I was saying, Chantel, around like TikTok, like it being kind of a water cooler for creators. And so my first answer, and I want to throw this to you, Dee, but like my initial response to this, Chantel, is that it's very vertical specific. So whether you're in, fitness or lifestyle, or, it really does depend like your type of, content, as well as your audience and where they spend time. And so like my first answer to this, Chantel, is you have to ask them like where are you like spending time? Like if people are saying like, I haven't been on, YouTube very much, or I haven't been on Instagram, I've been on TikTok or whatever, like that should be an indicator to you that like if your audience is spending time on that particular platform, you may need to have a concerted effort to have a presence on that platform. But what do you think, Dee? That's kind of my initial answer here.
Yeah, I feel like we work together way too much, Justin, because I was going to say the exact same thing. I was going to say there's two ways that you can go about this. For the first part of your question, I think the best thing to do is to stay in the loop on things. So read articles. Articles will keep you updated on everything that's going on so you can understand what social platform is doing what, when, why, and how you can get on that. The second part is to always poll your audience. And guess what? If you have no audience, that's fine. Find a niche buddy, a niche neighbor, someone who's doing the same thing that you aspire to do and doing it well. Go in their comment section. Start asking their audience, like, where are you guys at? Are you on TikTok? Are you on Instagram? That's research. You don't even have to have your own audience, but those people and that person, that the creator that you aspire to be, or that you just appreciate all the work that they do, it inspires you to do the things that you do. That's a great opportunity for you to see what someone else who is successful, what they're doing, what that looks like, and how you can understand what they're doing. Take those ideas, make them your own, and do your own thing. So even if you don't have an audience to poll someone else's audience. Ask people questions all the time. Like you ask a question, you're bound to get an answer. You don't ask nothing, no one knows you have a question. So
Mm.
that's the way I see it. Always poll. And if you don't have anyone to poll it to, poll someone else's crew. Like it's all good. People are more than happy to answer questions because it's as simple as clicking yes or no or saying yes or no, right? So there's no harm there in doing it. Just take the extra 5 minutes, get it done, and you're going to feel so much better after.
100%. And another way to kind of look at this and approach this, I love what you said about like reading articles and educating yourself around like, the industry trades and like where are brands looking, where are they, what are the new advertising initiatives that different brands are trying. The other way that we approach this is like, that is why we have doubled down on Amazon Live and live commerce over the last 18 months or so, because like we have been, uh, observing what's going on in Asia, especially China, over the last 3-4 years. Live commerce has been absolutely blowing up. There are billions and billions of dollars of commerce happening in this type of format. And so, the moment we found out that this is like something that's coming to the West with Amazon Live, it was very early days when we started doing this. We had no idea what we were doing. We've done some live streams, kind of IG Live, YouTube Live, right? But it hasn't been like, that wasn't like our thing. But like the moment that we were like, wow, this is the reason that we were so excited about this, Dee, was like, wow, this is a new content format for us, right? Like this is no longer just like, oh, go check the description box and like check out our, affiliate links that we're listing. No, it's like people tune in at Wednesday, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern to watch our show where we talk about products, and the whole purpose is like talking about things that people can buy. And so like it is a totally new format that we are now introducing into our business as creators. After a decade of being creators, having never done this, we were like, hey, we're like, we can teach an old dog some new tricks, right? Like we can learn this, we can get better at it. We invested in new equipment. This is a camera we bought because we started doing Amazon Live, right? This Sony A7 III, so we like invested in the equipment. We invested in learning how to like interact with a live audience, and they're asking questions about the product, right? We're pulling up like pre-filmed B-roll that we filmed about the product, right? We're switching cameras. Like this is something that we never knew how to do, and we learned it. And guess what? Now we are able to upsell brands who are coming in from other platforms, from Instagram, from YouTube, from when they're asking about sponsorships there, and we say, hey, by the way, would you like to do an Amazon live stream as well? That's going to be an additional $10,000 or whatever. And they're, oh, wow, I didn't know that Amazon Live existed. You know how many conversations, how many Zoom calls we've had with brands who wanted to learn more about live commerce and Amazon Live, right? And so we are now positioned as the expert. We're actually teaching them. We're teaching agencies about this and how they can go and pitch us to all their other clients about doing Amazon Live. Like, I can't tell you how many times we have done the very first Amazon live stream for a brand. They've never done it before, and like we are the first people because we took the time to educate them. Yes, there has been situations where we've gotten on a call with a brand or an agency and we've done the whole dog and pony show. We've educated them about it, and nothing has come from it yet. Nothing has come from it yet because they haven't maybe secured the budget to do it, or they still need some time to like work that into the plan, to the strategy for their client, right? So like you said earlier, D, like a lot of this comes down to like, having a long-term mindset with this stuff. It's like, yeah, you can't look at this like, oh, I just wasted all my time, like, because I didn't get the deal within 7 days. It's like, no, this stuff happened. It takes a long time sometimes for these things to develop. So sorry, I feel like I went on kind of like a little mini rant there, but I just get
I
so
love it. I
passionate.
love the
I get so
passion.
passionate talking about this stuff because it's like such good things can happen if you like believe in yourself and you
Yeah,
really, yeah, there's risk. We could have fallen flat. It could have not turned into anything, and we could have wasted our time. But
that's
I don't
okay.
know. That's okay. Yes,
Yeah.
talk about that. Talk about that, D. Like the most you've lost is your time, right?
Sit down, sir.
Oh, sorry. Come here,
Down.
baby. Come here. I got April's gonna make a cameo here.
Hi,
Come
April.
here. You can't see you on the camera there.
It's okay. You don't need to see me, y'all. I look a mess. I'm out here
You look
screaming at my kids.
beautiful.
It is being bad, y'all. Yeah, I just wanted to say hi because I needed a break from them.
Oh yeah, the kids are kind of
They're
screaming today.
crazy.
They've been home for a while.
Crazy.
They're being crazy. Thanks for watching them, baby. I'll buy you a boba later.
Or two.
Or two, a boba or two. Yeah, our house has been sick for weeks, unfortunately. So kids have been home. So we're just now hopefully getting over the hump with that. But yeah. What was I was gonna say? Like, yeah, talk me through your logic here around like why you should not be afraid to take risks as a creator.
I feel that most of the time in my career, when I get a little bit nervous about doing something new or just adventuring out onto something I don't have a lot of experience with, it's usually a good sign that something great is going to come from it. The problem is sometimes creators want to do amazing things and then they psych themselves out because it just seems too scary. But you have to remember, like, you have to post the video, okay? Like, no matter what, you still need to post the video. And if you don't post the video, you have nothing to look back on. It's sort of as if your time was wasted because you created all this content, but then you didn't put it out, right? So I feel that it's super important to just know that no matter what, like, it's okay. If you create a video or you create any piece of content and you thought it was great and it didn't respond well, or I don't know what happened. Sometimes, things are happening in the real world, like sad things, and it stops people from watching videos because no one's trying to be online during those times. Don't beat yourself up over that. Like, it's okay. Post another video. Or if you reached out to a brand and they didn't respond to you, they could be celebrating some sort of holiday for whatever country they're from or whatever they're doing. It doesn't have to be something personal that you've said or anything that you've done. Just keep pitching them again or move on to the next brand and remember to follow up with that previous brand. The whole point is whenever you get to a place and you get stuck, don't stop. Just keep going, because even if you fail, that's okay, because you had to try it to see if it was going to work anyway. And that's what all the successful people do. They test stuff, and if it sticks, they just put all their energy into it, right? Like Justin, even with you with TikTok, if you invested your time with TikTok and it totally failed, it would have been great to know that, hey, I tried TikTok, but it's just not a good use of my time.
Mm.
My time is best used like on YouTube, for example, right? And there would have been no harm there. You tried it, you didn't like it, it didn't work. That's okay. Move on to the next thing, or revisit that later when you have the bandwidth and the brain power and the will to do it. But the whole point is, don't give up, don't get stuck up on anything, and don't take
Mhm.
anything personal. Be your best advocate. Bet on yourself and know that no matter what, like, I got this. And when you say it, like, you gotta like really, really, really mean it. Because if you don't mean it and believe it, I doubt that the receiver is gonna feel what you're trying to have them feel. So just know that, like, man, I gave everything to TikTok, and what happened? It failed. Like, no one's gonna be like, oh my God, it's okay. That's the difference, as opposed to like, I tried TikTok, like, I don't like it. I'm just gonna talk bad about it, and I'm just gonna say like, this is a waste of time. I don't know why
Mm.
people are there. What did that solve?
Mm.
Nothing. You wasted more time on something that you're not even gonna be on for what? So if it doesn't work out, if you test it out, that's okay. Like, I tried out TikTok and I failed, but it was amazing. Like, that is the difference in confidence, and just knowing that you did it anyway, even though you had no idea what you were going to do, or any experience doing that thing. Just do it and keep doing it. Don't just stop
Mm.
after one or two times. Test it out. Like, going back really quick, last year around like August, Justin told me that, like, you should consider going on TikTok. And I'm like, Justin, I'm not going to go on TikTok. And so I went on TikTok, and I committed to making a post once a day for 30 days. I had a post that went viral, and I had no idea what I was doing. But the point is, sometimes amazing things happen when you try things out. Sometimes you fail at it. Regardless, it's still going to be okay. You still have to try it, test it out, see if it's for you, see what works. Take all those things that you've done as research, and just learn how to work smarter moving forward, and to keep working. Because the moment you stop creating, the moment you stop pitching, the moment you stop being present on all the places that you need to be, is the moment your business dies, and you do not want that.
You definitely do not want that. That was like some gems were absolutely dropped. Can we get some gems in the chat here? Some like
Woo!
diamonds, some like crowns or something? Because man, that was like, this is why you want to join Brand Deal Wizard, y'all, because Dee is going to drop gems like that every single office hour sessions, because she leads all the office hours. She's incredible. And I wanted to mention, Marwan in the chat had a question. Would you recommend talent agencies like CAA, ICM, and United Talent? So I have great news for you, Mara, which is that one additional thing that we're doing for Brand Deal Wizard cohort number 6 is we are having guest speakers, and one of the guest speakers is going to be an influencer manager. So we're going to talk all about these differences, right? Like managers versus agents. Like what do managers actually look for when they like, what is the advantages of having someone negotiate on your behalf versus you doing it yourself, things like that. There's going to be other guest sessions around, we actually have a senior partner from advertising agency who's going to be giving a guest session as well, talking about what advertising agencies look for when they're recruiting for paid campaigns. It's going to be a blast. We're going to have so much fun. And those of you who are YouTubers, I have some very exciting news to announce today, which is that we're also going to be having a guest session with Patty Galloway, who is, yes, one of the experts with respect to YouTube analysis. Did I not tell you that, Dee, yet?
No,
Oh, my
I mean,
bad. we just locked it in. Candidly, we
I
just
tried
locked
to
it
keep
in.
it together, but like, okay.
Yes, I'm so excited. So that's going to be a little bonus. So for any YouTubers who are excited about that, just for the Brand Deal Wizard community. So yeah, it's going to be so much fun. We're going to have such a blast. And there was actually another question. Oh, A. Lee is asking, is there a preferred way to get paid by brands? PayPal has fees, so I lose money upon payment. So what's your usual line here, Dee, about how you prefer getting paid from brands?
I Use PayPal sometimes. But I feel like just as much as you diversify your income, you should also diversify how you receive your invoice payment. So if that brand is not available on PayPal, find a way that they are available and try to send it, your invoice to them that way. There's so many options available. Like I live in Canada, so a lot of the Canadian brands that I will partner with or do any work with, sometimes we don't even have to go through the hassle of going on PayPal and doing fees. There's other ways to send invoices and receive payment outside of PayPal. So you just have to do research, find out what's available for you. Ask some of your creator friends, what methods they use to accept and send invoices and things like that. And, have options available because, having just one way to earn to receive your money is just not wise. If the site crashes for a day and you were counting on finally getting that net 30, like this is gonna shatter your soul. So just make sure that you talk about these things up front and that you have everything in place, so when it comes time to receiving those payments, you have options available, because I don't like putting all my eggs into one
Mm.
at all. So that's just
Well,
my preference.
the other thing too, I think is a really important reminder, which is that I think a lot of times, especially when you're starting out, you have very different expectations of how quickly you'll get paid as a creator after you complete the partnership than the brand does, right? A lot of times creators don't read the payment terms. They don't really understand what net 30 means, that you're gonna have to wait 30 days after you actually complete the partnership to actually get paid. A lot of
Yeah.
times they think, oh, I'm gonna get this payment within 24 hours or something like that, right? And it's just not the way it works. And so mind you, like you can absolutely, like you said, you can absolutely negotiate these things into the partnerships. That's like a lot of creators think that the only lever that they have when they're negotiating with a brand or looking through the contract is price. And that couldn't be further from the truth. Payment terms is absolutely negotiable. If you want to say, hey, net 7, got to pay, or pay me 50% of this partnership upfront, at your, net payment terms or whatever. Maybe it's not 30. So maybe you get a chunk of that money going. Cause, oftentimes, like some of these partnerships can take a while to actually, maybe it's going to be a month or 2 months during the partnership, the concepts and the production phase, and then the feedback round, and then all yada, yada, you post it, right? So, getting a chunk of that money actually going right when you sign the agreement, that is 100% what I advise people. And a lot of brands, the majority of brands in our experience are cool with that. There's okay, yeah, 50%. We'll get that going. Invoice us the first chunk. We'll get that going at net 30. And then once you finish, you invoice them the balance. So, there's all these different creative ways that you should be navigating your creator business. If you were any other business, right? You walk into a brick and mortar store, you pay 100% upfront for the service, for the food, whatever it is that you're doing. So it's like you can take parallels of like, other types of businesses. It's okay to like ask for these types of things. I think a lot of creators are just concerned that the brands will pull the deal off the table altogether. They're gonna be like, oh, how dare you negotiate that? Like, I don't want to partner with you anymore. And that's just not gonna happen. They're just gonna,
No,
the
not
most
that
they're
far
gonna,
down the line.
yeah. And the most they're gonna say is no. We can't do that. And you'd be like, okay, well, you're like no worse off at that point, right? So,
You're still gonna get paid.
yeah, you're still going to say, we got El Jefe in the chat here just said, must not spend more money. Dang it. I might just have to do it. Come on, man. Hey, you know what? Honestly, if this is not the right time, I understand, like, it is an investment for sure. I hope it's clear. Like, D and I, we try to provide as much value as possible with all the content we post on social media. I think we're both very online when it comes to that type of stuff. And so like, if
Yeah.
now is not the right time, we're going to continue to be here. I plan on teaching Brand Deal Wizard for a very long time. And as well, oh yeah, what?
You see that comment? You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Might as well just ask. That is
Yes,
absolutely, we live by that. Justin and I feel like that's our motto at
it
this point. It's
is.
just like shoot your shot. But speaking of shooting your shot, last year I had about 500 subscribers on YouTube. No direction as to like where I was going. I took a Brand Deal Wizard, learned like years worth of information in 4 weeks, absorbed it so well, made it like my daily practice to understand these frameworks and actually do the work to make all these things happen on rotation. Never stop, can't stop, won't stop, right? And basically, what I've done in just 1 year is I've grown from 500 to, what is that, Justin? Like
You're at
4.5 thousand?
4.6. Yep.
Yeah, I had my first paid sponsorship with under 500 subscribers. Okay, like these numbers, don't let them stop you. You only limit yourself if you want to be limited. Okay, so just understand that you have the potential to shoot your shot. You have the work ethic to get stuff done. El Jefe, I know you might not have the money right now and you're trying really hard not to do it. Look at my come up in 1 year. I work with Justin, okay? Like, I've come a long way, but I've done the work. And all it took is for me to put in my head and say, I'm just going to give it my all. I'm going to start now. And a year later, I own a Google search page. I work with Justin.
Let me pull
I
up
can
that Google
hype
search
myself
page.
up all day, okay? But like these are the things that I want for all other creators too. I want you to be able to have that confidence in yourself. I want you to be able to have that knowledge. I want you to understand that the longer it takes you to start, the longer it's going to take you to get to your goals. So stop pushing it off. Start somewhere and don't stop. Can't stop, won't stop. Every time you hear shoot your shot, just go straight to can't stop, won't stop. And you're going to get it done. But like, that's me.
Costco Canada videos. D has the first two results. And I'm going to blow your mind real quick here. Costco Canada, she's on the first page. Look at. Like,
it's kind of a big deal.
Mic drop moment right here. So
thing.
So think about this. Think about any creators listening to this. When you have a strategy like this, she intentionally said, I want to own this search result. So when anyone is searching for Costco Canada, any brands that she wants to pitch that sell their products in Canada, D can now say, I own the search term for this. I am the person here. So if you're selling your products in Canada or in Costco Canada, you want to work with me. I am the Costco Canada creator. This was an intentional strategy. She now is able to use this in all of her pitches from any brand, hundreds and thousands of brands that sell in Costco. Like, look at what strategy can do. Look at what goal setting can do for yourself as a creator. Like, this is truly unprecedented. D, congratulations. I mean, this is truly amazing. And for those of you guys who don't know, D is one of the people who curate my newsletter. All the secret intel, all the research that we do every single week on brands who are partnering with creators, that's D. D is doing that. Okay. I like taught her all the methodology and she has taken with it and run. I haven't done the secret intel in months. And so like this is the power. Like when you learn this stuff and you get so good at it, like it's truly like
brands are going to want to pay you to do these things. I mean, Creator Wizard is a brand. I'm getting paid by the brand that taught me to do these things. And you can take that same thing, apply it in your own space and do all the things that you need to do. Like your options and your opportunities are unlimited as long as you keep working at it and you keep learning, you stay up to date. And it's super important to like learn from other creators too, right? That are, doing things the way that you are likely going to want to do it. So, I mean, I'm a ride or die supporter of Brand Deal Wizard, of course, but I mean, I was in the cohort and now I help teach parts of the cohorts. So just keep in mind that you can do anything and more that you put your mind to. You just need to know what to do, create a plan, set your goals, and celebrate them in the process. Because as a creator, we get so worked up with, I got to do this thing. Justin said earlier that like you have a goal to get to 10,000 and you get to 10,000. It's like, well, I'd actually prefer like 100,000. That's the reality of this line of business. You reach your goals and it's like, well, I'd actually like to have a website, and then you got to start adding on these things and doing all the things. So just believe in yourself, know that you are worth it, make the investment in yourself, make sure that you show up for yourself. And when you do have these conversations, know everything that you need to know and network and research and own it all, because you can definitely do it. And El Jefe, I know like I talked to you about this for a while, but when you're ready, we're going to be ready. Just the sooner you get ready, the sooner you're going to get to those goals that you have that I don't know what your goals are, but you're going to get closer the moment you start putting those gears in motion. So when you're ready, we're going to be ready, but just know like you got this. Okay. Like don't stop.
if you want this type of like hype, D is the ultimate hype woman. So that's what you can expect in the course. And so I just wanted to just mention real quickly, if you're interested in Brand Deal Wizard, you can go check it out at branddealwizard.com. There's a whole video. There's tons and tons of information on here. Lots of creators sharing. You can see, look at D. The D is in the corner here, y'all. You see D right above my head. She has, you can actually ask D questions. There's just lots and lots of information here. Like I said, there's tons of, the one thing I did want to share here, let me scroll down here. But yeah, lots of testimonials. It's just like, if you're wondering whether Brand Deal Wizard is a good fit for you, you could read a little bit more about, kind of what we think would be a good candidate for going through the program, the types of platforms, the types of content verticals, and so on. So yeah, there's just a lot of information here. Would love to have you in there. If you have any questions for us, we're very approachable. You can send us emails, send us DMs, just let us know. And yeah, we'd love to have you in there. Thank you so much for tuning in today during the live stream. We always have so much fun having you, D. You're always dropping gems. And yeah, just appreciate each and every one of you. And we'll see you next week for another live stream. Thanks again for joining in, D.
Thank you for having me. Bye, everyone.
All right. Take it easy. Have a good weekend, everyone.